Mr. President, speaking of Minneapolis, what did you learn?
I learned that maybe we can use a little bit of a softer touch, but you still have to be tough. These are criminals. We're dealing with really hard criminals.
Following the two fatal shootings of American citizens Renee Good and Alex Preddy by immigration agents in Minnesota, President Trump, as you just heard, thinks that his administration could maybe use a softer touch. I just think that maybe keep civil rights, human rights, constitutional rights in mind as immigration agents carry out their jobs. It's not that difficult. You could enforce immigration laws without brutalizing people. And that includes undocumented people and American citizens as well. You could maybe stop going to court in order to nab people who show up to their court appointments as the asylum process plays out. Because that kind of deters others from following the law and showing up to court. It's very simple, but Trump has this idea in his head of what the typical undocumented immigrant in America is like. He thinks they're dangerous criminals, which I find ironic considering the fact that he just spent the last year providing cover for some of the worst criminals imaginable in the Epstein files. Actual pedophiles who prey on little kids. But anyway, I digress. During that same interview, Trump also alleged that Biden allowed, the number always goes up, it's kind of amazing, that Biden allowed 25 million undocumented immigrants to enter the country during his presidency. That number is grossly exaggerated. And look, Biden did let a lot of people into the country. I think if you just give people the accurate number, it's good enough. You don't have to make things up. The number is actually like closer to about 8 million people that Biden allowed into the country. No, 7.4. Let's read this graphic. During the Biden administration, 7.4 million undocumented immigrants crossed the border outside of legal checkpoints, and that's according to data from Customs and Border Protection. But look, we do have more good news, although I am cautiously optimistic even still, because Trump's border czar, Tom Llamas, held a press conference today, and he said something that I think is going to be welcomed by the residents of Minnesota. And here's what I'm referring to.
We currently have an unprecedented number of counties communicating with us now and allowing ICE to take custody of illegal aliens before they hit the streets. Unprecedented cooperation. And I'll say it again. This is efficient, requires only 1 or 2 officers to assume custody of a criminal alien target rather than 8 or 10 officers going into the community and arresting that public safety threat. More officers taking custody of criminal aliens directly from the jails means less officers on the street doing criminal operations. This is smart law enforcement, not less law enforcement. I have announced effective immediately, we will draw down 700 people effective today. 700 law enforcement personnel.
That's obviously good news. Now, obviously, I want to warn you all that the Trump administration did such a massive surge of federal agents into the state of Minnesota that even after 700 federal agents are withdrawn from the state, there will still be 2,000 federal agents operating out of the state of Minnesota. But the good news here is that it does appear that Tom Llamas has kind of approached the state and the county in which Minneapolis is located, to engage in like some negotiations with them, to find ways to collaborate and work together in order to minimize what we've been seeing on the streets, to mitigate some of the violence that we've been seeing on the streets. And that's a good thing. Hopefully it holds. And so the concession that Llamas says that he received was that the county has agreed to abide by these detainers, right? So if someone is here undocumented, they commit a crime, they get convicted of the crime, and they're sentenced to prison. What the county is willing to do is hold on to that individual so immigration enforcement can deport them. I guess previously the county, not the state. Apparently, according to Tom Llamas, the state has always complied with that, but the county did not comply with that. And so since he was able to get that that concession, he's saying, I'm going to withdraw 700 of these federal agents. That's a good thing. And by the way, I think most reasonable people can agree, if you are here and you're not documented and you're committing crimes that are serious enough to get you a prison sentence, you should probably be deported. I don't have a problem with those people being deported at all. Now, there is more to this story that I want to get to, because there is a lot of dysfunction still, as you can imagine, when it comes to how our immigration system functions, how people are processed, for instance. And nothing makes that clearer than this amazing interaction that a federal prosecutor had with a federal judge recently. So I want to read some excerpts from this New York Times piece because it's kind of amazing. So prosecutor Julie T. Lee told a judge during a hearing on Tuesday in federal district court in St. Paul that she and other colleagues in the local US attorney's office were completely overwhelmed by the number of cases they had been forced to handle because of the White House's widespread immigration sweeps in Minnesota. Now remember, while the Trump administration is happy to provide a lot more funding to ICE, which includes, by the way, $50,000 signing bonuses for new ICE agents. What hasn't been funded is the immigration judges and also the prosecutors necessary to deal with these cases. And so at one point, she says that she was overseeing 90 immigration cases. At one point, she sardonically, let's take a look at that. She sardonically, at one point she sardonically told the judge that she would welcome being held in contempt of court because it would allow her to get a good night's sleep. Been there, definitely been there. Okay, there have been times where you get that little jury duty notification, and I'm just like, please pick me, please. They don't pick me. Jury duty is great, by the way, but for her, obviously, she's kind of making a joke. She's making a point about how overworked she is because of the 90 immigration cases she's overseeing. Now, her statements came as a response to the judge grilling her over the fact that, the Trump administration is not complying with his orders. So the judge is Jerry Blackwell, and apparently he was complaining about the fact that in 5 separate cases to free immigrants that had been illegally detained, like they were supposed to be released and the Trump administration didn't release them. And so she was responding to that. And so here's what she said. I can't believe this is a federal prosecutor. What do you want me to do? The system sucks. This job sucks. And I'm trying every breath that I have so that I can get you what you need. Fixing a system, a broken system, I don't have a magic button to do it. I don't have the power or the voice to do it. I only can do it within the ability and the capacity that I have. Anyway, she has since been fired. So we have less federal prosecutors to oversee these immigration cases, which is insane. But I do also kind of feel for her because we do have a broken immigration system. You can't fix it through executive order in the executive branch, okay? That's not enough. You need to codify immigration laws. You need to codify reforms through Congress. But Congress is useless. If Congress isn't holding like kabuki theater hearings or fundraising, I mean, what else would they be doing? Or, engaging in government funding nonsense. Like it's just endless. They're so useless. So what we're seeing right now is a dereliction of duty when it comes to Congress, a major branch of our system of government. And as a result of that, everything gets done through executive orders. And if you happen to be on the right and you love what Trump has been doing on immigration policies through executive orders, I disagree with you vehemently. But let me just say, who's to say that a Democrat isn't going to get elected next and just reverse everything? That's how it works. If you want actual lasting power when it comes to how we do immigration enforcement, you do it by codifying laws through legislation.
Every time you ring the bell below, an angel gets his wings. Totally not true, but it does keep you updated on our live shows.